How We Make Movies is brought to you by Microsoft Surface
and hosted by the film collective WeMakeMovies.org.
Well, that was the easiest part of it. It was, because we had written it for me, and so, but so I didn't have the utmost confidence going into the whole thing that I was able to, do it all. But it would have been great. It was difficult at times to not, to have to compromise my own thing. So but I made the right decision to not do it. And in order to do it, I would have had to stake that claim early and be like, this is my. And I didn't want to do that because me and Gene had developed this for years, and I kind of didn't want to do that to Gene, where I'm like, okay, now it's my vision, that kind of stuff, and so yeah, so I'm glad I didn't.
I was curious too because you got one of the last chances to work with the late Adrienne Shelley on Waitress, who had written and starred and directed herself, and I feel it would be such a challenge to direct yourself as an actor, and you already talked about the challenges of playing the role, for God's sake, and just like getting that part done. I wondered if she had inspired you or that experience had inspired you. Some
of the most fulfilling experiences I've had in movies have been with directors who have, written, co-written, or developed the project from its conception. Inception is like the Catherine Hardwicke on 13. Adrienne Shelley was a big one. She just had a very, very deep relationship with the characters. So it was always very easy to tell if you were off base. There wasn't a question. I came into that thing thinking I was playing something completely different, and within literally 5 minutes, I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. By not even exactly what she said, but how she said it. It was just very clear. So I do feel it is difficult for, and throughout the time I did feel for Jay as a director to come on and have to, make it his thing when it had been around that long. I know that is, that would be a challenge. If I were in that situation, I would find it very challenging. But that's not to say that, that's not part of filmmaking. That's kind of nice. In some ways, there's a certain delineation that is there for a reason, and so I'm glad we had the experience we had on this.
Did you have a strong communication with him when talking about the characters? And I know it must have been some sort of battle between your vision and him coming in being new. And how did you guys work through that to get to the product that everybody was happy with? I
think we more or less saw eye to eye on most things. It's not always going to be that way, and so there's compromises. But I think he understood the script from the very beginning. He had an aesthetic that was similar to what we had, and so communication I don't think was too difficult.
That's great.